But let's talk about another stock. Indian defense manufacturer Data Patterns has delivered yet another missile checkout system to BrahMos Aerospace. In a chat with CNBC-TV18, Data Patterns chairman and MD S. Rangarajan told Jude Sunnit that the company is banking on transitioning from building subsystems to end-to-end systems in order to push up its top line to several thousands of crores. Listen into that exclusive conversation.
Understand that the checkout system is not really part of the missile system. We are 75 to 78% indigenous on the missile system. On the ground system, we were always almost 100%. The element which was missing was the checkout system. And that is what Data Patterns took up as their challenge, along with the BrahMos specialists and a few people from DRDO. They have totally indigenized it. It's been a very, very hard struggle initially to understand what are the requirements, because we have created it without requirements. Now we have the requirements and we can tell other people this is how checkout systems for a missile should look like.
Right.
It's a modern checkout system, and I would say state-of-the-art checkout.
And no doubt, I have to then ask you, what does this do really to the partnership that you share with BrahMos? I believe the order book is ever expanding, so if you could just tell me as to how this fits in with the kind of business you've done with BrahMos over the years, Mr. Rangarajan.
We started with fire control systems for Army and Air Force. Only Army first, then Air Force we started giving the fire control system on the ground-based systems. The second, we indigenized this checkout. This is the second part of the journey with BrahMos. The third part of the journey was when the air version of the fire control system, which is going to be fitted in the Sukhoi 30, we got a contract in early 2011-2012 to build this for Sukhoi 30 fully indigenously, without any equivalent in the Russian space. We outfitted the missile underbelly to Sukhoi 30. So they went through a lot of development work, both in HAL, BrahMos, DRDL and Data Patterns. We delivered that. And then the fourth one we started is a seeker for BrahMos, which is almost completed now. We're expecting flight trials to happen. We have already done the combat, under Sukhoi 30 belly, we have flown it. Now the missile trials will be expected in the next 3-4 months' time.
Right, all right. The big news that everyone's talking about now is the clearance of 70,500 crore worth of defense contracts that the centre has cleared, for the future. I have to start by asking you, what does that do to your order book particularly? I know for a fact that BrahMos figures very prominently as part of that news. So how does this help business and orders on the BrahMos front?
Yeah, it's an AON granted by the DAC. We still have a lot of water to flow under the bridge to get the contract, which should come by hopefully middle of next year or end of next year. It's a large contract with deliveries going right up to 2032.
But I also have to ask you on the export front, there are some very exciting orders also going by, the NATO order being one of them. What is your outlook in terms of export business and where do you hope to go from here?
See, today we are doing subsystems. So there is not, really not focused on exports. We do about 6-7% of our turnover on exports. What we are aiming to do is build complete equipment, complete systems. Once we start doing that, that is when the export really will start happening. So I see this in the next 3-4 years. We see that once we build systems for MOD here and our services, the same or modified systems can get exported with Indian permission, Government of India permission.
Well, out of time.